Hello, Coloritaville. This is Renee, and today we're going to take a look at a product and a product line that I found on Amazon, and they're very inexpensive. They do have a lot of different art supplies if you go to the Yoobi website, and their motto is "You buy, Yoobi gives." So for every single thing that you purchase from Yoobi, a duplicate item will be sent to a child less fortunate. So I purchased a set of 100 colored pencils, which are right here. I'm going to move this around here. In my pencil holder. The reason why they're in my pencil holder is because they come in a cardboard pencil box. And 100 pencils in this cardboard pencil box made it very difficult to see what colors there were and that sort of thing. So I've got the 100 colored pencils that we're going to take a look at. These are not an artist grade pencil. They are a closer to a Crayola or a Prang colored pencil. And we will talk about the different things that are okay with them, are great with them, and possibly a few things that I find are wrong with them. As well as a 10-pack of metallic markers. And this 10-pack of markers, it's actually only a 5-pack of markers, but there's duplicates. So you have 2 gold, 2 silver, 2 pink, 2 purple, and 2 blue, which is perfectly fine. These are a brush tip marker, and they're really actually kind of cool. So we'll be looking at those as well. I bought a 14-pack of markers. Now, these are a fine tip marker. These are not a broad or a medium tip. These are a very fine tip marker. So we will also be looking at those. And another thing that I bought was a 50-pack of gel pens. And I have gone through and I've sorted these all out and made sure that they were all in their right order to my color order and that sort of thing. Of course, I probably got them wrong, but you never know. So we're going to take a look at this product line today, and we're going to decide whether you buy or no buy. Like I said, these are not high-end artist grade items. These do not cost a whole lot, but the great thing about them is that, if you do purchase something, they will donate something to a less fortunate individual. So let's start off by talking about these. These are the You Buy 100 count colored pencils. And it comes in, like I said, it comes in a box like this. I'm going to close this up so you can see it better. There is a bunch of separators that go between the layers of colored pencils. It is very difficult to get them in and out of this box to find the colors you want. So my suggestion, if you do decide to purchase these pencils, take them out of the box, put them in a case, put them in whatever you want to put them in. That's easily accessible. The reason why I say easily accessible is because these pencils do not have any color names or numbers on them. The only markings on them, and I'll switch you over to this camera here so you can see better. The only markings on them is the name You Buy. And that is it. That's the only markings on these pencils. A lot of them are very well centered. Some of them are off centered, of course. And another thing I did find with some of them is they are not straight. Some of them are crooked and bent, not to the point that that one set of shuttle arts were, but enough that it's noticeable, like when you have them sitting in something that's very straight. But one of the things that I will say is there are quite a few, like this one here is really bent. Like it's way off. Let's see, I'll show you. See if I can show you on the camera there. See how far off center that is from the other pencils? So some of them are the shafts are quite bent. But I haven't seen very many that are off-centered. There is like one or two really bad ones. This one's quite off-centered. This one's a little bent. But so far, I've gone through 40 of them just by looking. 40, 48. So far, I've only found 2 that are really off-center. There are a few that are, like that one there is off-center, so that's 3. There are a few that are bent quite a bit. Like this green is quite bent. The shaft is definitely not straight. But out of the whole box, I'd say maybe 10, the entire box, that are not centered. The core is approximately a 2 millimeter or 3 millimeter core. Of course, there is no information on the package at all on the size of the core, what they're made of, or anything like that. All it does say is that they are made in Vietnam. They are manufactured, and so they are manufactured for Yoobi Global LLC out of California, but they are made in Vietnam. Other than that, it doesn't really give you any information. Now, I did swatch these as I was putting them away. Now, I'm going to switch over to the other camera so you can see the swatch sheet a little bit better. And they did swatch quite nicely. So this is all 100 pencils, both light and dark coverings. And the colors are quite nice, which is really good. Personally, I will use them to supplement or to keep children busy when I'm coloring. Other than that, I'm not going to say they're a bad pencil, because like I said, they are very close to the quality of Crayola. I think I like my Crayolas better because of the fact that they do have a wider selection of certain colors, as well as the names and numbers on the pencils. However, what we will do is we will color a little bit with these so that you can take a look and see how they do. I'm not going to color a whole picture with them because I'm going to switch between these and the other products that I have here, and I've got quite a few, so I don't want to spend too much time on one thing. So we're going to go into the browns here. And of course, something that I don't normally do when I swatch is I went through and I sharpened every single one of these, because of the fact that there was a very, very heavy white wax layer on all of the pencils. And so that tells me that they are a wax-based pencil. And just by the feel of them, it tells me it's a wax-based pencil. It's not as smooth as I would like. like I said, the one really good thing about this company is when you buy a product, a lesser fortunate individual also receives that product. And that is usually within the United States. I did ask them, I did go in and put some questions to them through their customer service form. However, I have not received any information back from them. So if any of my information that I have been able to find is incorrect, I will, of course, let you know. I try to make sure that I have all the information before I do a video, but it's been, almost 48 hours and they haven't responded to me. So I don't know if it's the same problem that Shuttle Arts had with not getting all of their forms right away, or their email addresses not showing the emails the right way, or what. I don't know. Shuttle Arts had a problem getting their emails. It seemed that it would take them about 4 days to get an email before they actually saw it. So, but as you can see, the color is going down quite nicely. It's not as smoothly as I'd like. They are a very hard pencil, and they are scratchy. I'm not very fond of scratchy pencils. But, for the price of them and that sort of thing, definitely if you're in a pinch, you need a set of pencils. These are available, I do believe, at Target and Walmart, from what I could see on the lookup information that I did. So I'm going to put that one back, and I'm going to grab a darker brown. I really do wish these had names on them, because I associate different colors with different names now. And, when I first started coloring, I didn't do that, but it does seem that the more sets I get, the more I associate different colors in my head with different color names instead of different colors on the shaft. And that's probably because a lot of companies, their shafts don't match their colors. Now the color on these pencil shafts do seem to match quite well with the colors. If you are going to use these yourself, and definitely I would not suggest that you don't. If you purchase something, of course, use it. Unless you don't like it, then send it back. But if you're going to keep these and you're going to have them on hand at home and you're going to use them, I would definitely suggest taking either a black marker or a white marker, depending upon how dark the color is, and numbering them yourself so that you know what is what and where. The way I did the swatch, I did it so that these could stay in my holder, and I can just cut that swatch out and put it on my holder so I know exactly what pencils where, what color goes where. And that's just the way I do it because of the nature of that holder. If I just put that little swatch on the bottom of the holder, it tells me what pencil goes in what slot. And I will probably go through and number these and that sort of thing as well, just to keep all the yellows and the colors that are similar to each other apart. So as you can see, they do blend together quite well. I was able to use that darker color behind that lighter color, on top of that lighter color, and have it blend seamlessly without a lot of line, which is good. All right, now let's take a different color. Let's take, let's see. Let's take some, yeah, this one. I want to try to use as many of the color families as possible so that you can see the different variations and how much selection there is. There is 100 pencils in this set, and there is, I do apologize, it seems that, of course, I start speaking on camera and everybody wants to text my phone or Facebook. But there are many, many different blues, many, many different greens, a lot of aquatic colors, which is really cool in this set. A lot of sets on the lower end don't have a lot of aquatic colors, which, it is silly to me. I think every set should have at least 2 or 3 different aquatic colors in it, because there is always, always, always water to be colored. Make his eyes blue. And basically, like I said, they don't have names on them. They don't have numbers on them. So your best guess is what color it is, which to me isn't horrible. It's not unusable, but it is frustrating when you have some colors that look very similar to each other, and instead they're a shade or two off, but you can't really discern that by looking at the shaft, because the shaft color is pretty close, like these two here. These two here, the shafts look almost identical, but if you look at the colors on the pencil, one is a shade darker than the other. And, it can be very confusing when you don't have the names or numbers on those telling you that, yeah, this one's not the same color, or yeah, this one is the same color. They are not as pigmented as a lot of pencils. Some of the colors, like this one here, it shows a dark blue both here and on the shaft, but you're not getting a dark blue out of this color when you try to layer it. You have to press quite hard to get that dark blue color to show. So I think they're lacking a little bit in the pigment department when it comes to the blues and dark blues and that sort of thing. Now let's try a different level here. Let's try purple. See, to me that's pretty close to the same color when you do it lightly. So you have to press quite hard on some of them to get the color that you want out of them. And another thing I did notice when I was doing the swatching is when you do press hard on them, they do dust quite a bit. So you have to make sure that you have your dusting brush there to get rid of any extra amount of pigment that's going to come off those pencils, so you don't rub it all over your paper. Now we're going to go into the red purples here. So the blue purple is very close to a blue, and the red purple is closer to a pinky color. So but for, as inexpensive as it was for 100 pencils, they do seem to be easy enough to use. I would definitely buy these all day long for children's school, or, like I said, little kids that come visit that don't have anything to do while I'm socializing with their parents, or, things like that. I don't have that problem very much, but every once in a while, all of my kids are a little past that, but sometimes people bring their grandkids over, or the neighbors' kids come over, and I don't have anything really in the house to keep them occupied, so I just print off some coloring pages and off they go. All right, so there is a good selection of reds in this, as well as pinks and oranges and that sort of thing. Yellows. It has a really, really good selection of yellows. But as I said before, some of the colors are very lacking in pigment, like this pink here, for example. It shows on the lead itself, as well as on the shaft, that it should be a bright pink, and it's coming up a very pale pink. So let's see if we can brighten that up. Now this is looking like a purpley pink on the shaft as well as there. But we'll see what color it is on these areas here. And that's actually closer to the true color that it's showing. Some of them are really, really nice. Some of them, it's a hit and miss is what it is. Some pencils are a hit, and some of them just miss the mark altogether. The thing I don't like about them is that I do have to press quite hard to get the color that I want out of them. And I don't like that because it causes them to leave that dust all over the place, which can end up being brushed into other areas. It's still going to look nice. It's still going to be pretty. Don't get me wrong. The ability to color with them is still there. And the nice thing about them is the factor of their motto, what they want to do with their funds, and that's a really cool thing. And they do not say on them anywhere on the website or anywhere on Amazon or anything else that these are an artist grade pencil. These are listed under the school supplies area, so they are meant for children. They are a nice enough pencil to get an okay coloring from, which is fine. but they don't say anywhere on them that they are an artist grade pencil, and I'm not going to tell you that they are good enough as an artist grade pencil. They are fantastic for children, for the new colorist that is just starting to learn how to do different things, or a heavy-handed colorist, somebody like I used to be that puts down a lot of color as hard as possible. And I have learned over the time that I've been coloring not to do that. But with these pencils is definitely something that you're going to end up doing. So with that, I am going to move on to the next product. And I like this product. This product is really kind of cool. These are, if I can get them out of the package, these are metallic brush markers. And these have a very, very fine little brush, and I'll show you them in a second here. They do come with these 5 colors, which is blue, purple, pink, silver, and gold in the package. Now I'm going to see if I can show you on here how metallic they are. So that's how metallic they are. The pink does come up quite a bit like a red, which is kind of cool because I like metallic red. Okay, so these are a hexagonal shape, but they are a brush marker. They have a very, very, very fine brush. So getting into these little tiny areas with this is really, really simple. And what I'm thinking that these would be pretty good at is coloring some of my husband's 3D prints with the metallic colors that he likes to have them colored with. Ooh. If I watch what I'm doing. So this is also, like I said, it's a brush nib. It's not a chunky, it's not a medium. It's a really nice little brush nib. And I do believe these are water-based. I'm not quite positive on that. Like I said, I have asked some questions, but with the feel of them, they're either an acrylic or a water-based. And I know that their little fine liners are water-based, so these probably are too. And I keep on trying to put the lid on backwards. And they have a really good metallic color to them. Which is really cool. I guess I should do. There we go. And then we'll do the center one red. And with how long it takes for these to dry, kind of makes me think that they might be acrylic as well, because they do take a little bit of time to dry. Now that doesn't look very nice together, but oh well. Now, so all of these are a really, really nice thin brush marker. You do get 2 in a pack, and it does say metallic brush marker on it. However, it doesn't say anything about what color they are or anything like that. You just have to go buy what is on the outside. So definitely another one that you would want to swatch, because you never know what color they're going to be. But these were not very expensive, and they are again listed under the office supplies, school supplies link in Amazon, as well as on their own site is listed as a school supply, not an artist grade product by any means. As well as these are a 14 pack of markers. They are a fine tip marker, and it does say on the marker that they are a fine tip marker. The tip is very, very, very small. Hopefully you can see that. And these are definitely water-based. I can tell just by the way they lay down. But of course, you know, as a fine tip pen, it works out quite nicely. And they are pretty colors. You know, the colors of them are quite nice. They're not fluorescence or anything like that, which is fine. And for fine lining, definitely a good product for, you know, doing small areas or that sort of thing. Another package that I would definitely put them into something else, just because the packaging is more of a throwaway package. You know, so if I wanted to go over the lines of this purple, just to make it look more purple, we can definitely do that with these. And I know I'm not making this very pretty. These colors definitely are not something that should be mixed together. But I just wanted to show as many of these products as possible in one area so that you can see them. Okay, so I have swatched these as well as the metallic markers like I showed you. And I'm just going to put these back. I'll put them back in there later. So this is the color swatch for the fine liners. So you get a yellow, an orange, a red, a bright pink, a light pink, more of a red. This is an orangey red, and that's a brighter red, a light purple, a dark purple, a dark blue, a light blue, a light green, a dark green, a gray, and a black. So it does give you a light and a dark of each color, except for the yellow and the black and the gray. Now the next one I'm going to show you is, as you can see, there's sparkles. And these are gel pens. This is a 50 pack of gel pens. And I have gone through and I've sorted them all out and I've swatched them. And you get a good selection of different areas of color, like fluorescence, metallic, and sparkle, glitter pens, as well as basic colors. So we've got the metallic yellow, or not metallic, the fluorescent yellow, the basic yellow, fluorescent green, basic green, fluorescent orange, basic orange, and another lighter orange, the fluorescent pinks, the basic pink, a sea foamy type of green, and then your lighter blues, and the dark into your darker blues, into your dark green, and your reds. Now I did find that from what I can see on here, those reds are pretty close to the same color, and they look like the same color on the ends as well. So I don't think you're getting 50 of different colors, because I have found quite a few in here that look very similar to the same color, even on the swatch sheet, like these blues here. These two blues right here. They look identical in the pen as well as on the swatch sheet. They look very similar. Then we go into our whites, and our whites, of course, look very similar to each other as well. And then we go into our metallics, which it gives you two different golds, which to me look exactly the same. I'm going to turn off that light so you can see it a little bit better. To me, those two golds look exactly the same. And then it goes into a bronze, silver, purple, or pink, a purple, and into blues, and into a seafoam green, and that sort of thing. And then into silvers. And these two silvers here look identical. These two blacks here look identical. And then we go into the glittery colors. And these two yellows, this one is a little bit lighter than this one, but not enough that really makes a lot of difference. And then into the orangey yellow, orange, red, pink, brown, blues, green, purple, black, and silver. So there are a lot of variation, like a lot of colors, a lot of different pens, a lot of different types of pens. However, I'm finding a lot of duplicated colors, even in, like if there was one red for each type of pen, I'd understand it. But these two reds here are a flat color, and they're the same pen. They're the same look and everything on the pen. They are a nice size pen. They do have a cute little cap that pops off, and it does have a little bumpy here to hold grip onto. But as you can see at the tip there, that is pretty much the same color on both pens, as well as the coloring inside looks the same as well. And of course, when you color with them, they look very, very close to the same too. So I think that they are identical pens. There is no markings on them to tell you otherwise. There is nothing on these pens whatsoever on the flat colored pens that tells you what, other than the color on the ends and whatnot, of what colors they are. Now, however, on the metallic pens, as you can see, they do have that metallic-y shine to them on the lids as well as on the stoppers in the back of the pen. And so do the sparkly ones. Let's find one that has that you'll see a good amount of the sparkle in this one. So as you can see the sparkle in the pen lid, as well as down here in the tip. So the sparkle ones do definitely tell you that they're sparkly. The metallic ones definitely tell you that they're metallic. The flat colored ones, including the fluorescent ones, without looking at the barrel, you wouldn't be able to really tell that which ones were fluorescent, which ones weren't, were a regular color. So, but it does have enough of these colors combined, the fluorescence as well as the light colors, the flat colors, to be able to color an entire picture with gel pens if that's something that you do. I myself do not color whole pictures with gel pens. It's just not something I like to do. But I do know quite a few people that do, and do beautiful work with doing that. And this will definitely give you enough colors to do that with, enough variations of different colors to do that with. My only disappointment with them is, I bought 50 gel pens, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variations of them are black, which is fine for writing. I'm not sure, coloring small areas maybe, but I don't know how much of those black colors would be used for coloring, because there's this black, and I guess those ones are silvery black. But it looks like there are 4 different blacks here. So let's pop them out and take a look. Maybe I didn't color them all because they were all... No, see these 2 here? Yeah, so there's a different variation to each one, I guess. Oh, I just stuck my finger in the wet paint on the other picture. So I guess there's a different variation into each type of black. Like this one here is definitely a metallic, and so is that one. So like I said, there are a metallic black, there is the basic black, and then there's a sparkle black. So it's not all the same black, which is fine. It's just a lot of black. I like bright, sparkly colors. The good thing about these is that they do fit in these little trays quite nicely. It does hold them really nicely. So if you do keep your markers or your gel pens in the package they come in, like, it holds them in pretty good if you snap them in right. I didn't have that one snapped in right. And basically, it just flip them over so that their little lids are fitting in there, and then they snap into their little pocket there if their little pocket isn't stretched, and then they should stay in there pretty good. But they all go in here. Let's see. Let's make sure that I've got them all in the right spot. They all go into this plastic holder. Switch over to this other camera. They go into this plastic holder, and each tray has enough room in there to, if you want to pull out a tray and go, okay, I want those ones or those ones, you can do that easily enough without, having to take them out of this plastic box they come in. The only one that I would severely suggest that you absolutely have to change where you keep them is the colored pencils, because putting colored pencils in a box, a cardboard box like this, is prone to breakage, prone to mix-ups. You're not going to be able to find the color you want without dumping them all out and that sort of thing. So I would definitely suggest putting these ones in a bag, or putting them in a holder of some sort. This holder is one that my husband made me, so it holds 130, I think 138 pencils, 136 pencils. So I've got lots of room in here for those, as well as my metallic pencils that I use all the time. And it can sit up on my shelf, and I will use them as the need comes through for, just a quick color. Sometimes I just want to take pencils and color as hard as possible, as quickly as possible. And I don't want to do that with, say, my Lyras or my Holbeins or things like that are a heavier, softer artist grade pencil. So these will come in handy for that sort of thing, since I gave my Crayolas to my kid. With that, I would like to thank you all for watching. You make your own choices, of course. As an artist and as a colorist, I wouldn't say I wouldn't buy this set for myself, but I'm not going to use them as my main everyday coloring products. They are going to be a supplement product to what I already own if they don't go into the kids box. And I will probably put most of these into the kids box. Not because they are a terrible product, but they are a lower grade product, and I don't know how well they will combine with each other combine with the higher grade stuff that I already use on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, I am going to keep them out, and I will use them off and on for a little while and see how well they work. This is just a preliminary, just open the box, taking a look at them type of thing. If I do find that it is something that I use all the time, I will let you know. However, great for school supplies, fantastic for children's art supplies, and wonderful for somebody that is just starting in the colorist craft, that doesn't know whether or not they want to continue with it, that isn't sure about it. If you don't want to continue with it, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it to start with. So it is definitely a good starter set for that. And right now they are on sale on Amazon during their holiday sale. So give them a try. If you find that they are wonderful and they work really well for you, fantastic. They work well. They're not fantastic. They're not absolutely perfect. They are not centered in some of the pencils. Some of the pencils are. Some of the pencils are bent. Not horrifically, but they are not straight. They don't have names. They don't have numbers. Those are all the downsides of these pencils. The good side of these pencils is they are cheap. They do color. It's not like coloring with a stick. And they do lay down color. Depending upon how you color, you may find that they work really well for you, and you may find that they don't work well at all. The great thing about Amazon is if you find that they don't work well for you, you can send them back. Amazon has a return policy. So take a look at them. As I said, for the great thing, the absolutely perfect thing about this company that I will back 100% is every time you buy a product, one of those products is donated to a child in need in the United States. So that's fantastic. I like that. These, however, the paint pens, I will definitely use. I like the metallic shine of them and that sort of thing. The glitter on the sparkle pens is really nice. I'm going to switch you over to the other camera so you can see how well that actually shows up. So the glitter is really nice on those. Even just laying flat, you can see that those are glitter pens. So the metallic shine and the glitter on those gel pens are definitely something that I like and I will use. I don't use a lot of the basic pen colors, even in my other gel pens. These are nice gel pens for the fact that they're gel pens, and they lay down really nice. They don't, they're not hard to use. You don't have to scratch them on paper to get them going. They continue going after you start them going. Let's take a look at them. let's color with one or two of them and see, so you can see what I mean. Let's use glitters, because glitters get stuck every once in a while. So we're going to use a brown glitter. And I'm going to bring this over here so you can see it. I've got stuff all over my desk now. So as you can see, it puts out quite a bit of ink. It's not, you know, flooding it, but it's wet, you know. So it makes it easy just to draw that ink around. Make sure that you cover up any sort of lines that may be present from going back and forth with the gel pen. And sometimes you can end up with lines like that just by moving the pen back and forth over top of with a wet ink over top of a dry ink. But even with a glitter pen, that, you know, a lot of glitter pens have the issue of getting the glitter stuck in the pen nozzle. The glitter is really, really fine. Like, there's no grit or anything. Like when you color with a glitter pen, sometimes it gets scratchy and gritty. There is none of that with these pens, which is really good. So I would definitely suggest the glitter pens, the gel pens, for coloring, because you can't go wrong with a glittery gel pen. You can't go wrong with gel pens in the basic sense of the form, because they, you know, unless they don't color or unless they're scratchy and don't cover, as long as the pen covers and isn't really scratchy, which these are not, and they cover really nicely. And I have had some gel pens that just don't color. They are scratchy. You end up with, you know, half a line and half with no color. But these are not ones that do that. So I would definitely suggest the gel pens, as well as the 10-pack of acrylic paint pens, the brush markers. And, you know, if you do use fine liners, those fine liners are really nice. They are a nice thin nib. I don't use fine liners myself. I don't use water-based markers very much at all. And I know I am starting to try to step out of my comfort zone with those, but I'm still on the fence with them. So if those are things that you use in your everyday coloring, I would say give them a shot. Like I said, they're not horribly expensive, so you can't go wrong with spending a little bit and finding out if you like them or not. If you don't like them, of course, you can send them back. And there is no loss there, right? So, so again, the gel pens, they are so good. They are very glittery. They have a good shine to them. So do the metallic markers. They're just a brush marker, and they do have a good metallic shine to them as well. So I would definitely suggest trying these products. If you find that you don't like them, like I said, you can always send them back. If you buy something on Amazon and you are not satisfied with that product, they want you to send them back. And I think in total, between all 4 of these products, I spent maybe $50. So that's not too bad at all. And I got, you know, 100 pencils, 50 gel pens, 10 markers, and 14 fine liners. So I think that is not too bad when it comes to art supplies, to be able to pretty much take care of everything that you're going to need to start coloring with for less than $60 is pretty good as far as I'm concerned. I will leave links to all of these products and to the Yoobi website in the comments. Of course, take a look at them. You know, go to their website, take a look at all the other things that they have available, because they don't, art supplies are not their only thing. They have other things that they provide as well. So take a look at them. Take a look at their policies, take a look at their information on what they do and why they do it. And hopefully, if you do find that this is something that you want to follow up on and purchase, that they work out well for you and that you enjoy them. My job is just to show you these new products. Like I said, I had never seen them before, and somebody had asked me how well they worked, and I told them that I would do a review on them and I would purchase them to do the review. So that is what I have done, and I'm not going to say one way or another yay or nay to buy. I personally wouldn't buy them again, only for the fact that I have so many different levels of art supplies that I don't really need another low-end basic starter set of art supplies. And that's what this is. It's a very starter set of different supplies that would be best suited to somebody that's just starting out and just learning the craft, as well as whether or not they want to continue with the craft or if they like the craft. I love the craft, and I wouldn't give up my higher end products for a lower end product. And it's not that this is a bad product. It's just definitely down there in the school supplies area of these types of products. So I will leave you all the links. I will leave you all the information. Of course, I want to make sure that you are able to make a educated decision, and hopefully I've shown you enough information on how they color and what they look like when they color to make that decision for yourself. I will sign off with that. Have a great day. Of course, continue to color and stay safe. Always relax. Bye-bye for now. Have fun.